It is still dark, and someone has put a tin cup of coffee in your hands. You can't see it, but you can feel the heat of it climbing into your fingers, and the steam is the warmest thing for miles. The air has an edge to it that nobody warned you about, that the savannah, before sunrise, is genuinely cold. Cold enough that you are grateful for the blanket over your knees, and the second blanket you were too proud to accept, and now quietly wish you had. The vehicle smells of canvas and dust and yesterday's rain. Somewhere out in the dark, a zebra barks, that strange high yelp that sounds nothing like a horse and everything like a question. And then the sky does the thing it came here to do. A thin grey line at the edge of the world goes pink, then gold, and the grass that was nothing a moment ago becomes 1,000 acres of pale fire. And you understand, suddenly and completely, why people spend their lives chasing this. That is the morning. That is the thing itself. And here is what almost nobody tells you before you book the trip. You can have that morning in January. You can have it in July. You can have it in the shoulder of October when the guidebooks have gone quiet. The dawn does not check your calendar. Which brings us to the myth we want to take apart today, gently but completely. The idea that there is one perfect week to see the Great Migration, that if you simply show up in a certain famous month, you will be handed a river crossing like a ticket at the door. We've stood on a riverbank in exactly the right month and watched precisely nothing happen for 3 days. And we've seen the whole churning spectacle of it on a date no brochure would have promised. So let's talk about what's actually true and how to read the calendar of East Africa like someone who's been. Start with the geography, because the geography is the whole secret. We tend to talk about Kenya and Tanzania as 2 countries, 2 trips, 2 stamps in the passport. The animals have never heard of either. What sits across that border is a single living system, and the 2 ends of it have names you already know. The Masai Mara up in the Kenyan north, and the Serengeti spreading vast and golden to the south. Same grass, same herds. One ecosystem, breathing in and out across a line drawn by men who never asked the wildebeest. And the migration that everyone wants to see is not an event you attend. It is a loop. It is more than 1 million animals, wildebeest mostly, with zebra threaded through them, turning slowly clockwise through the year, following the rain and the green shoots it brings, the way a tide follows the moon. It never stops. It is always happening somewhere. The only real question is where the great wheel of it has turned by the time you arrive. Roughly speaking, and we want to lean on that word roughly, because precision here is a kind of lie, the herds spend the early part of the year down in the southern Serengeti, on the short grass plains, where they give birth. Then, as the land dries, they drift north and west, and somewhere around the middle of the year, they pile up against the rivers. And that is the famous part. That is the crossing. Hundreds of animals throwing themselves into brown water full of crocodiles. The dust, the panic, the sheer noise of it. It is genuinely one of the great spectacles left on Earth. And here is the truth about that famous middle-of-the-year window. It is dramatic, it is crowded, and it is entirely at the mercy of the weather. The crossings happen when the herds decide to cross, and the herds decide based on rain you cannot predict and grass you cannot see. They will mass on a bank for a day and turn around. They will cross at dawn before your vehicle has arrived. You can do everything right. The right month, the right river, the right camp. And the animals will simply decline to perform. The crossing is not a showtime. It is a wild thing that happens near you, if you are lucky and patient and there. So if the perfect moment is partly a myth, what's left is far more useful, which is matching the season to the thing you actually want. And the cleanest way to think about it is the oldest divide there is out here, the dry season and the green season. The dry months are the postcard. The land browns off, the grass goes low, and the water disappears from everywhere except a few rivers and water holes. Which means the animals have to come to those rivers and water holes. And so do you. And the viewing becomes almost absurdly easy. Everything gathered in the open, nowhere to hide. The predators working the edges of the water with terrible patience. The light is clean. The roads are firm. This is when most people picture a safari, and they picture it for good reason. The cost of all that is exactly what you'd expect. It is dusty, properly dusty, in your teeth and your camera, and the creases of everything you own. It is the high season, so it is the high price, and you will not be alone. At a good sighting in the dry months, you may find yourself one of a dozen vehicles, engines off, everyone leaning toward the same lioness, none of which ruins it. But you should know it before you go, rather than discover it from the third row. The green season is the other bargain entirely, and it is the one we find ourselves recommending more and more to the right kind of traveller. This is the wetter stretch, the land gone lush and almost violently green, the sky enormous and full of weather. Two things happen then that the dry season can't give you. The first is birth, the calving, down on those southern plains, thousands of wobbling newborns dropping into the world over a few short weeks, all at once, so that the predators can't possibly eat them all, which is precisely the point. And right behind those newborns comes every lion and cheetah and hyena for 50 miles, because nature is not sentimental and never has been. It is the most concentrated drama of the entire year, the most life and the most death you will ever see in one frame. And most people miss it entirely, because it isn't the crossing they were told to want. The second thing is space. The crowds thin out. The prices soften, sometimes dramatically. The air is washed clean of dust, and the photography turns extraordinary. Those bruised storm skies behind a single acacia, the grass almost glowing. Light you simply cannot buy in the dry months. The price of all that is rain, but the rain out here is rarely the grey, all-day affair you're imagining. It tends to come in short, violent afternoon storms that you watch march toward you across an open plain. And then it clears, and everything is left steaming and golden, and somehow louder than before. You trade a little certainty for a great deal of intimacy. And for the birds, by the way, the green season is when the country fills with migrants in their breeding colours, which matters more than you'd think once you're out there and the small things start to count. So hold those against each other. If you want sheer drama and the easiest possible viewing, and you don't mind sharing it, go in the dry. If you want intimacy, value, Calvin, stormlight, and a landscape that feels more like yours, go in the green. Neither is the wrong answer. They are answers to different questions. Now, where you sleep. And we'd argue this matters at least as much as which month you choose, possibly more, and almost nobody weighs it properly. The land you can stay on out here comes in two broad kinds. There are the great public reserves and national parks, the famous names, the protected heart of the whole thing, and rightly busy. The rules there exist to protect the place from its own popularity. You stay on the roads, you're out by a certain hour, you do not drive off into the grass to follow a leopard, and at a good sighting you share. Then there are the private conservancies, land, often leased from the Maasai communities who own it, run at low density with very different rules. On a conservancy, you can usually go off-road to reach a sighting properly. You can drive at night, when a whole other cast of animals comes out. You can get down and walk, which changes your relationship to the place entirely. The way a thing smells, the size of a track in the dust. There are a handful of vehicles instead of a crowd, and the money you pay goes more or less directly to the families who own that land, which is the thing that keeps it wild rather than fenced and farmed, which is the heart of it, really. The camp is not a hotel you happen to sleep in between the good parts. The camp determines what the safari is. A low-impact, conservation-minded operator on a well-run conservancy will give you a wilder, quieter, more ethical trip than the grandest lodge in the busiest part of the busiest park. And your presence there becomes part of why the lions still have somewhere to be. Because that is the quiet machinery underneath all of this. The land only stays wild if being wild pays better than being fenced and farmed and turned over to cattle. Your bed, in a real sense, is a vote. So when you're choosing, ask the unglamorous questions. Who owns this land? Where does your money actually go? And how much of it stays with the people who live here? How many vehicles do you allow at a sighting? And how many guests sleep in this camp? The answers tell you more about your week than any photograph of a plunge pool ever will. A good operator will answer them happily, in detail, because they're rather proud of the answers. Be a little wary of the one who changes the subject. So let us give you the short version, the framework to carry in your pocket. If you want the river crossings and the full crowded spectacle, and you can hold your expectations loosely, go around the middle of the year, into the north, and make peace with the dust and the company. If you want the carving and the predators and the stormlight photography, and you'd rather have the place to yourself, go in the green season, into the south, and pack a good rain shell and your patience. If value matters and crowds don't appeal, the shoulder months between the two are the quiet secret. Softer prices, fewer vehicles, and animals that have not yet read the script. And whatever you choose, weight your money toward a private conservancy and a small, serious, conservation-minded camp over a famous address. Match the season to what you actually want to feel, not to what you were told to chase. This is, as it happens, exactly the kind of decision we love at JMJ Experiences. Building a safari around the right conservancy and the right season for the particular traveler in front of us, rather than the one perfect trip that doesn't exist. If you want to go deeper before you decide, there's a companion guide to the best time for safari over in our journal at jmjexperiences.com, journal, that lays the whole calendar out month by month. But take the morning with you, more than the month. The cold cup of coffee, the grass catching fire at the edge of the world, the animals who never once consulted your calendar. Next time, we leave the savannah entirely and go somewhere greener and stranger and full of trains. The hill country of Sri Lanka and the slow art of crossing an island by rail. We hope you'll come along. Until then, we hope your afternoons are gloriously, gorgeously empty.